Hi everyone and welcome to Still Single. Still Single helps single Christian women find contentment, hope and joy in their single season. So I'm just gonna, please bear with me because I can't look at the camera. Like if I'm looking at the camera, I feel like when I'm looking like this, it looks like I'm looking like this, and my sister's always like, you don't look at the camera. So if I'm not looking at the camera, please bear with me. I'm still new to YouTube and videos. So what I wanted to talk about today is taking a break from social media and media generally. And yes, I'm just gonna get into it. And then obviously I'm looking at my phone because my plan is to have every video have a matching blog. So every video will have a matching blog because I've often found that people just, I feel like a lot of people don't read the blog, and then when I've got feedback from you guys, people are saying that they actually prefer, it was split, it was like 50-50. Some people, 50% of people said they liked my vlogs, and then the other 50% said they like blogs. So it was split, and then because I just wanted to focus on one, because I would rather focus on one than try and do something that people are not reading or watching. So anyway, so one fun fact about me is I am a sucker for rom-coms. Like I love rom-coms, and some of my favorite rom-coms are, to name a few, 500 Days of Summer, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, He's Not That Into You, and The Proposal. And yeah, so those are my favorite rom-coms. But as I've gotten older, I'm more wiser, I'm more singler, I've realised that, obviously I need to limit the amount of rom-coms I watch. Not that I watch rom-coms all the time, because they don't make it like the ones they make now. Like the ones back in the day were always, the ones I've listed are like top notch, like rom-coms. And obviously nowadays they're not that good, so it's not like I watch rom-coms all the time anymore. But I've realised, like, in order to cultivate a more content attitude, I needed to limit it. Because I think when you watch it, well, for me personally, I don't know if this is the same for everybody else, but I often watch and then I'm like, I won't be thinking about being in a relationship or anything like that. Then I watch a rom-com and be like, oh, I would like to be in a relationship, you know? And then at the end, I'm like, oh, it would be nice to be in a relationship. And it's funny because those are the sorts of things that I'm thinking about as I'm watching it. But if I didn't watch it, I wouldn't be thinking that. So yeah. And then what I've also decided is, if I do decide to watch, I try to watch it from a more healthier perspective. And as you get older, you start to realize that these are like exaggerated type of love in terms of what you see on screen. And then this is separate, but I've cut out like the news like generally, and I feel like my mood is so much better. Like, take a news break and actually see how you feel. So yeah, so what I've kind of gone through like a bit of a detox. So it's just a bit of a media detox, a social media detox, and I've just kind of changed my what I consume. And what I've realized is I wanted to see, like, what impact would it have on my desire to be married? Would it be lower, higher? Like, what would it be like? And what I've realized is, I literally, my desire to get married is still there, but it's not like, it's at a good equilibrium, if that makes sense. And I think what I'm recommending to you guys is just like pay attention to what you watch. If you're someone that watches a lot of rom-coms or on social media a lot, follow a lot of couple vlogs, follow a lot of these different things, it might be worth taking a break and seeing how you feel. Because I feel like when you're constantly bombarded with something, it tends to make you feel like, I don't have to explain it, it tends to make you desire something more because you're constantly being fed it. Like if I was hungry and I went on YouTube and I started watching like food videos or recipes, I'm going to start being more and more hungry. So I think there's like common sense behind it that we don't actually think. And I think in a society that idolizes romantic relationships, I think it's actually important for us to see how we can actually guard our hearts to maintain a content attitude. Because I feel like what happens is we're being fed a lot of things, but at the same time we also have to set up our lives in a way that helps us to be content in our single season, if that makes sense. And I think even what I've also learned from like me like having a media detox, number one, it's improved my mood. Number two, it's helps regulate my desire to get married. And number three, what I've also realized as well is that it also like, it's important to, I don't know how to explain it. It's good to like consider watching something else. Like, you know, we live in a generation where everything is about, every genre has a couple number one, be it a kids thing or a kids show, thriller, horror. There will always be a couple. And I think we've sort of grown up as well with couples all around. Like, I don't know about you, but I grew up with like sister, my wife and kids and stuff. And even if you take like sister, for example, they had like Tyreek and what was it, Jordan. That was when they were in uni, but growing up they went on dates and things like that. And I think even wife and kids, like everyone has a couple. Like it's Franklin and Katie, it's Claire and Tony, obviously, and then Vanessa and Junior, and then Jay and Michael. So there's always couples like everywhere you go. And I feel like life, I really believe that life would be so much different for singles if we didn't live in a world that idolized relationships, that idolized romantic love. But because we live in a world that idolizes romantic love, we start to be seen as like weird, or seen as like we don't enjoy our seasons as much because, you know, you're supposed to be with someone. So yeah, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to add. Yeah. So I hope this video is encouraging to you. I hope that if you do consider to take a break, you let me know how it goes. Yeah, because I think going back to like some of my previous points, I think as singles, in like, for me, I've been single all my life. I'm 29 years old now and I've been single all my life. I've entertained people every now and again and stuff, and obviously I detail that in Still Single, the book, and obviously if you want to read it, it's in the description. Yeah, so I've been single all my life, so I know what it's like to be single long term. And I think one thing I realize as well is like we're kind of responsible for our own single season. So it's not the best, it has highs and lows, but we have to sort of build it up in a way that is going to be beneficial to us. So if we're not building it up in a way that's going to be beneficial to us, we will struggle, you know. So part of taking a social media break, or a media break generally, is looking at how you can usher yourself into a place of being more content, rather than consuming media that makes you more discontent. To be honest with you, some things you just can't get out of. Someone's wedding will be announced, or you know, a scene comes up in a movie, or whatever the case may be. Like, some things just cannot be avoided. But sometimes I think the more and more we wallow, the more and more it just gets more harder to like maintain this single season in a good way. And I remember, like, I think I was watching a film with a friend once, and it was a rom-com, The Proposal, actually. And I do love The Proposal. And I think I like rom-coms not just because of the romantic element, but I really like rom-coms because they're just funny. I think they're high level. Obviously they're called romantic comedy, but I really like the comedy element of a rom-com. And one thing about rom-coms that I really like is when we were watching The Proposal, I remember my friend turned to me and she was like, oh, like, I wish that for myself. And I just thought, no. I was like, no. Like, if you've ever watched A Proposal, spoiler alert, like, obviously it's fake because it is what it is. And I'm not saying that opposite people can't be together, but ultimately it takes a lot for someone to hate somebody and then fall in love with them almost in days after she had treated him so badly throughout his like time working with her. And then because they're just polar opposites, it will take a lot of love, like not the happy clappy love, but the deep rooted love for them to actually get on. So when my friend looked at me, I was like, baby girl, you need a more like grounded idea of love. And it's okay, because I feel like sometimes we it's okay. Like, it's okay to like, I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble and say that like romantic love doesn't exist. And in some ways, like, there could be some elements of a rom-com that is actually attainable in people's relationships, but just generally it's just an exaggerated type of love, and it doesn't get into like the root. And this is off topic, and I know that it's all about taking a social media or media break, but this year and last year I was watching Black Love by Oprah's network, by Oprah Winfrey Network. And in as much as obviously it's other people's stories, I liked Black Love because I feel like we get a sense of what do you call it, the highs and lows. They don't tell us everything because they're not going to tell us everything, and that's fine, but I like the fact that they're showing real life relationships and the dynamics that they face. Some couples, they're not married after the first, like, some couples divorce after like filming or what have you, but I like the realness to it in terms of their discussing their struggles and stuff. So I feel like we just need to probably consume more healthier media. Don't get me wrong, a light-hearted rom-com is good every now and again, but sometimes a break is good. And I feel like I even challenge you to take a break if you're someone that does watch rom-coms, or if you're someone that is on social media a lot or follow a lot of couples and stuff. I actually challenge you to like take a break and actually see how you feel in your season. And I just hope that it's beneficial to you. Obviously, if it doesn't work out for you, then it's fine, but have just a reevaluation of what you consume and the impact that has on how you view yourself and how you view your single season. So yeah, that is the video. I know I've deviated a little bit, but yeah, as usual, like, watch the other videos, comment. Like, it will be really good to get some like engagement. I feel like I'm constantly like putting things out and there's no engagement and stuff, but and things like that. But yeah, it was nice having this video, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.